Welcome to Champ Week, presented by SoFi. This is the New York Life ACC Tournament, and we are here in Greensboro, North Carolina, as we look to establish the last semifinalist. Got a quarterfinal matchup for you tonight. Number 6, the 6th seed North Carolina, coming off a huge win over Notre Dame last night, taking on the 3 seed, the Virginia Tech Hokies, making their first appearance of the tournament. This one should be great. There's already been a lot of action here today. A heartbreaker for Syracuse. The Orange squarely on the bubble again. Reese Beekman with a buzzer-beating 3. And the top seed, the Hoos, beat the Orange 72-69 to advance to the semifinal, where they will take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Got a stern test from the Miami Hurricanes today, but Jose Alvarado and company survive and advance onto the semis to take on the Cavaliers tomorrow evening. 6:30 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN2, Virginia and Georgia Tech. And then the winner of this game tonight will play Florida State in the second semifinal tomorrow night. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Greensboro. Glad once again to have you with us, Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Yeah, we got a great game tonight, but really the biggest news of the day, Jay, is off the court in this conference, as Duke has a positive test in its program, and their season is over.
Yeah, just heartbreaking for the players, the coaches, everyone who invested so much time into trying to make this work. But Duke had an opportunity against Florida State, but it just goes to show we're all one test away from having this shut down.
And Virginia Tech's had a couple of COVID pauses this year, both contact tracing, no positive tests, but they haven't played in almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's not a question, Dan, of conditioning, because they were able to practice. Mike Young said it's an issue of sharpness. Are they going to be sharp? He called it a fine motor skill game. That's what basketball is, but it's going to have to be more than motor skills against North Carolina. You're going to have all 5 guys hit a body and then hit the glass, because North Carolina is an extraordinary rebounding team, and you saw that on full display with the big guys, Armando Bacot, Walker Kessler, and Day'Ron Sharpe. That's without Garrison Brooks being in there. 3 guys with double-doubles. They dominated the glass, offensive rebounds, second shots. The paint was owned by North Carolina, but Carolina's going to have to take care of the ball in this one, or they won't be able to deliver it inside. They're playing against a tough team in Virginia Tech.
And you see Garrison Brooks did not play last night, as Jay mentioned, because of the ankle injury suffered Saturday against Duke, but he is on the court in the starting lineup and ready to go for the Tar Heels tonight. Ron Groover, Lee Castle, Brian Dorsey, the officials, and we're underway in this quarterfinal matchup between the Hokies and the Tar Heels, 2 teams who did not meet during the regular season. A look at the starting 5 for Virginia Tech, and keep an eye on Keve Aluma. He's got his hands full with all of the big guys for North Carolina. Second team all ACC during the season. Aluma had a terrific year. And for the Heels, as Jay talked about, it starts with the big guys. The best rebounding team in the country. Bacot and Brooks in the starting lineup. And Caleb Love, 33 points, 13 assists in his last 2 games.
Caleb Love has done a very good job for North Carolina, especially of late. He's taking better care of the ball, taking better shots, and he's been much more efficient.
Virginia Tech comes in 15-5 on the season, 9-4 in the league. Again, 2 COVID pauses cost them several games. Justin Mutz with a long 3 that he leaves a little bit short.
And even though this is a smaller Virginia Tech team, they can still attack the paint, and I think they need to.
Carolina gets a touchdown in the box, and Garrison Brooks knocks it in over Aluma.
Even though Brooks didn't play against Notre Dame in his last 2 games coming into this one, he was 11 of 18 from the field. And he's guarding Keve Aluma. He's got the ability to get out and guard on the perimeter.
And Aluma can shoot the 3. The lefty, Tyrese Radford, knocks down a jumper, and the Hokies are on the board. Radford
not known as a jump shooter, more of a driver, but he's improved his jump shot. Shoots only about 32% from 3.
Out of bounds, Carolina ball. Second year in Blacksburg for Mike Young, the ACC Coach of the Year, after a very long and successful tenure at Wofford. 4-time SoCon Coach of the Year and 5-time SoCon Tournament champs. And a couple of his players at Wofford are now with him in Blacksburg. Well, one had signed to go there. Aluma played there for a couple of years, and Hunter Couture, who we'll see a little bit later, was originally going to go to Wofford and now is a valuable player in the Hokie program. Jumper Brooks. Rebound Wabisa Beatty. And they're going to blow the whistle on the shot clock violation. Looked like Virginia Tech might have had a chance to go with that ball. But
yeah, they were going.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Roy Williams, 3-time national champion. He's won 3 ACC tournament championships since taking over as the head coach of the Heels, a Hall of Famer. And you heard Reese talk about it before the game. Roy's got 902 wins. That ties him with Bob Knight for the 4th most all time. What a drive by Aluma.
Just beautiful off the staggered ball screen up top instead of rolling to the basket with Carolina's big guys. What Virginia Tech did was space to the wing and the corner, really spread out this Carolina defense where you could drive it. And that's going to be a key, I think, in this game. Can Virginia Tech spread the floor, and can they drive it, get a piece of the paint, then kick it out?
This is a very tough group. You look at guys like Beatty and Aluma, Radford, a very mentally and physically tough group that Mike Young has.
Now take a look at this. There's a little staggered ball screen here. This is after the action, but they had, you saw they spaced out after setting that screen, and just a little bit of a spread floor and allowed Aluma to drive Garrison Brooks.
They caught the handoff for Leaky Black. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Ball's moving. Everybody getting a touch for the Heels. Walton inside. Love for 3.
Boy, that's really good defense by Virginia Tech. Everybody rallied to the ball, stopped the drive, and they'll recover to the shooter. They're not as worried about North Carolina knocking down threes, except for Kerwin Walton. He's a guy that they want to make him put it on the deck so that he doesn't have any shots from the catch spot.
You got to keep Carolina off the offensive glass as always. The Heels had 25 offensive rebounds against Notre Dame last night, turned them into 27 points, and what a start for the Hokies. Mutz with a 3.
Like Justin Mutz, who transferred in from Delaware. He started his career at High Point. He was all Big South. How many good players has the Big South had lately? I mean, Carly Jones, the Big South, Maceo Teague of Baylor.
Black misses the jumper, and Virginia Tech has the ball. So far, no second opportunities for Carolina.
Well, most of the shots have been jump shots instead of the ball getting inside, where, you know, the big guys for Carolina are going to be more likely to rebound shorter shots. You know, you're taking jump shots, they're longer rebounds, and they're less likely to get those.
Oh, missing an easy one on the drive there was Radford. Leaky Black for 3.
Boy, good block out by Aluma.
Boy, a little bit of early frustration for the Tar Heels. What a start for Virginia Tech, leading by 5. ACC Network Basketball is brought to you by New York Life, helping people act on their love for 175 years. And Norwegian Cruise Line. Sail safe, feel free.
Welcome back to Greensboro after an extended layoff. Virginia Tech off to a good start here against the Tar Heels, and Keve Aluma a part of that strong start. He's a fascinating story. You see, he didn't really play basketball growing up because he didn't like it. He was a soccer guy all the way, played 3 seasons in high school, but he had a growth spurt his freshman year, and the coach there said, no, I got to get you out on the hard court. Certainly continued to blossom, but even then he still wasn't in love with the game. But he followed Coach Young from Wofford here to Virginia Tech, and part of the reason is because he taught him to love basketball. He said, he is the one that changed that for me. I talked to Aluma about that. He was like, yeah, I didn't like basketball at all. I couldn't get used to handling the ball with my hands instead of my feet, but because of Coach Young, I fell in love with this sport, and in large part because of the success they had at Wofford. Now he's having success here.
All right, Allison, thank you. Really an amazing story, and a guy who apparently, Jay, made great use of that transfer years, sitting out last year, got leaner, got stronger, got more skilled, and he was one of the best players in the conference this year.
It's really an amazing transformation as a player, is that when he was at Wofford, and Wofford had a great team when he was playing there, he averaged about 7 points, 7 rebounds a game. I mean, good numbers, but boy, that team had Fletcher McGee, Storm Murphy was on that team, Nate Hoover, Chavez Goodwin was on that team, who now plays for Southern Cal, and USC has an excellent basketball team. But who would have thought that when he transfers to Virginia Tech, when Mike Young got the job, that he would turn into a first-team All-ACC player? It's amazing.
And the Moses Wright story, equally amazing. I'm sure we'll talk about that tomorrow. I mean, two guys who a few years ago were just not on the radar, and whether you want to call them raw or late bloomers, whatever you want to say, and they've both turned into terrific players in the ACC.
Yeah, it shows that maybe it's a little bit of evidence that's not conclusive, that you don't have to specialize in one thing when you're a kid to be good.
Radford knocks it down. 8-point lead for Virginia Tech. Coming out of the timeout, by the way, Roy Williams made 4 substitutions. Only Kerwin Walton among the starters is still in the game right now for the Heels.
And that was awfully easy for Radford, coming from the right corner, just curled up and was able to essentially waltz into that shot. That was just way too easy for North Carolina's defense to allow.
Anthony Harris in transition. Walton pulls up for 3 and buries it. He is their best three-point shooter. 52 of his 71 made field goals this season have been from beyond the arc.
And the reason that he got that shot is because Anthony Harris pushed the ball up the court and passed ahead. And he did a very good job, Kerwin Walton did, of running the floor and getting into position.
Boy, Mutz looked like he took some contact there. It's called clean, and they play on. R.J. Davis draws a foul at the other end.
That was a great take by Justin Mutz. He was met at the summit by Walker Kessler. Now you can see once Harris got this ball, he pushes it up court. And you've got Virginia Tech backpedaling, and Mutz has to try to get out in transition to get Walton. And that's where you don't want to let Kerwin Walton shoot the ball from the spot at which he catches it. And it's a lot easier for him to spot up when he's in transition than when you're playing 5-on-5 in the half court.
Davis at the line, the Gatorade Player of the Year and Mr. Basketball in the state of New York last year. And here comes Carolina back within 3, just over 6 minutes into this quarterfinal matchup.
R.J. Davis had a really good game against Notre Dame. 14 points, 3 steals. Wow. Didn't turn it over.
And totally free on the baseline was Mutz, who's off to a big start.
Mutz moves without the ball, and I'll tell you, he's got really good passing instincts as well. I think he's got triple-double ability. He's been close a couple times this year.
Had a huge game against Miami. He is from Millville, New Jersey. You know who else is from Millville, New Jersey?
I think there are a lot of people that grew up there, were born there. That's kind of a broad question.
Yeah. Mike Trout wasn't born there, but Mike Trout grew up in Millville, New Jersey, known as the Millville Meteor.
Oh, what a pass.
Kessler calling for the ball inside. Carolina's not really been able to get the ball into the big guys very often so far tonight.
They just have to be more resolute, because they're going to be open. If the ball moves from side to side, you're going to be able to get it inside. Sharp was open right there. This is just a terrific passing team, and a little screen down low by Hunter Couture that freed up Justin Mutz. And not good communication. Walker Kessler just got caught ball watching and couldn't get around that screening action. And usually that's what Carolina does, that little low cross screen, little on big in their secondary break that really catches you. And Virginia Tech doing that to Carolina.
Wabisa Beatty with the ball, the primary point guard for Virginia Tech. And now a turnover. Harris, who's done some good things coming off the bench, kind of drifted away from the bucket there to avoid the contact and missed the layup.
Yeah, you might want to just go straight into the defender's body there, try to pick up a foul. Good fake by Hunter Couture. He is such a good... He moves without the ball. He's got a great sense of where the defense is, and he catches. He's got that shot credibility because he's such a good shooter. As soon as he gives a little shot fake, the defense reacts to it, and if they don't react, he can go up with that shot.
Let's take a look now at the New York Life above the rim. as Couture knocks down a three right on cue and extends the lead to 6.
Well, he leads Virginia Tech in three-point field goal percentage and made threes. Shoots about 45% from three. And when Mike Young recruited him to Wofford, he told his staff, I think this guy can play anywhere, Hunter Couture. And he was right.
Sharp surrounded. Finds Playtech. Carolina turns it over.
Virginia Tech has just been tougher than North Carolina. They have been more physical. They are taking the fight to the men in blue. And Hunter Couture, that is beautiful form on that shot. You're not going to find it better anywhere.
Lots of great action going on all around the country, including the Phillips 66 Big 12 men's tournament, which continues tonight with the last quarterfinal matchup. And you can see it at 9:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Texas and Texas Tech with the winner to take on Kansas. The Jayhawks had a 20-point halftime lead. Oklahoma made a game of it, but KU holds on. On the other side, Baylor and Oklahoma State. The Cowboys beat West Virginia. Again, they're turning into one of the best stories in the country right now.
A young team, and that team has got a great vibe about it. And when you've got a superstar like Cade Cunningham, I think Oklahoma State can do some real damage in the NCAA tournament. Boy, look how many screens that North Carolina is having to run around, and great shot fake.
The shot won't go down for Cordell Pemsel, a grad transfer from Iowa. Wide open look on the wing. R.J. Davis for three.
And that's where North Carolina has to try to take advantage. If they can get a defensive rebound, outlet it, and run. Try to beat this Virginia Tech defense down the floor and get something early.
Jay, we are 9 minutes into the game as Radford scores inside. Carolina has 0 offensive rebounds and 0 points in the paint.
Well, they've taken mostly jump shots, but you know, Virginia Tech again with that little low cross screen, and that was just way too easy to give up a layup. Really nice play there to get Day'Ron Sharpe a lob.
And Roy Williams still not happy. We've seen him do this in the past. We don't know for sure if this is why he's doing it right now. But he's got 5 guys ready to check in right now, which probably means he's not very happy with the 5 who are on the court.
Well, he does sub a lot, but 5 at a time. Yeah, he probably wants to see a little bit better defense in there, especially when North Carolina got taken advantage of on that little low cross screen. Virginia Tech has scored a couple of easy baskets just with a little screen from one side of the lane to the other on ball reversal, getting a layup. And that's just a question of communication, being ready for it, moving as the ball moves, and at times you might have to even switch it.
The 5 starters coming back in right now for Carolina. Turnaround Aluma won't go, and the rebound to Black.
Good position by Aluma, but Garrison Brooks made him shoot that ball over the top without fouling. That's just really good defense by Garrison Brooks.
Well, you can see they are working hard to try to get the ball inside. Brooks gets a touch, but it's knocked out of bounds by Mutz.
Virginia Tech is physical, man. They put a body on you. This is a tough physical team. They may not be tall, but they give you a shot. You come across the lane, you're going to feel them.
Yeah, we talked about it with Mike Young today. He said regardless of what happens tonight, win or lose, he thinks he's got an incredibly tough bunch. You know, we saw them, remember last year, it seems like 100 years ago, but we were in Maui in November of 19. Literally the first couple of weeks of his tenure coaching games at Virginia Tech, and they beat Michigan State out in Maui. And right then you could see, wow, he's got something going here.
No question. Different vibe, and he's such a, look, he can coach both ends of the floor, but he is a magnificent offensive coach. The actions that his team runs, he can really move a defense.
Mike Young, one of only 2 Virginia Tech coaches to ever win ACC Coach of the Year. Our friend Seth Greenberg did it not once, but twice back in the day.
He has 2 of those awards, and he is kind enough to bring them out at his home whenever we visit. There's that same action they ran, the double ball screen out top, and then the screener space to the wing and the corner, trying to spread out those big guys and give Keve Aluma an opportunity to drive.
Again, a Virginia Tech coming off a COVID pause, but it was a contact tracing situation. No positive tests amongst the players. They were able to practice for about the last week. They were doing it with masks on to adhere to protocols, but it's a little bit different than teams that literally sat in hotel rooms and then a couple of days later had a game to play. They look like they've got their legs underneath them.
They do, and they've been pretty alert and pretty sharp. I mean, the ball went inside, and when they double team, they call it fire. And Bamisile went in and tried to give a little double, but he left Kerwin Walton. Still recovered and put late pressure on that shot.
Gone a little bit cold at the offensive end recently, and Carolina now with a chance to tie or take the lead. Love, and he's got it. Carolina's up by 1.
Well, Naheem Aline a little bit slow getting up off that ball screen action, and Love was able to come right off that and shoot that in rhythm.
A couple of thousand fans socially distanced here at the Greensboro Coliseum, and most of them wearing Carolina blue and making their presence felt right now.
Well, Justin Mutz had a chance to really drive that big guy, Armando Bacot, and stopped short. He should have kept going. Could have picked up a foul there.
Love feeling it. Knocks down another one.
He is playing with a lot of confidence. Last couple of games, 16 points, 6.5 assists.
8-0 run Tar Heels. Carolina by 3. Aline gets inside, had to alter the shot over the height of Bacot.
Boy, that was really good action, but then all of a sudden you run into Armando Bacot, and he is exerting himself on the offensive glass. Well, Caleb Love is big and strong, and the ball goes from one side to the other, and you didn't see Naheem Aline switch up after Kerwin Walton gave that little dribble handoff and screen action, and Love is starting to feel very confident in this one. He, ever since he played in that second game against Duke, boy, he has looked really confident and different.
Brooks looking like he's moving pretty well on that ankle. Good challenge there by the Hokies. Love slow to get up. And a lay-in at the other end for Radford.
And Radford is strong. All ACC honorable mention. You have to play him as a driver. When Mutz is really fighting Day'Ron Sharp in there. Sharp is much bigger, but Mutz has really been physical with him.
Yeah, Mutz about 3 inches shorter, 35 pounds lighter, and called for the block. .7:27 to go. Love maybe a little shaken up. Carolina up by 1. Got a close one here in this ACC tournament quarterfinal. The winner to advance to the semis to take on Florida State tomorrow night. Caleb Love shaken up and walked to the bench during the timeout. Keep an eye on the right arm of Wabisa Bede. Looked like it kind of got him on the back of the head as Love elevated to try to take that shot.
Yeah, I thought it was a foul, period, but when you look at the replay, he got elbowed in the head, so it was worse than I thought. But that should have been called a foul just on the body contact.
So Love getting a little medical attention on the bench. What a difference a night makes. Carolina's big guys just overwhelmed the Irish last night with the offensive rebounding and the second chance points. And right now, Virginia Tech is doing a really good job not letting Carolina get the best of them there.
Well, they've been very physical, and you've got all 5 guys in white that are going to the defensive glass. But what Virginia Tech has done is, for the most part, they have had North Carolina shooting jump shots. And jump shots are usually longer rebounds, and it's a little bit more difficult for North Carolina to play volleyball on the offensive glass.
Aline finds Mutz. Shot clock at 4. Aluma sees it, forces it, almost hit it, and the rebound down to Davis. Davis will get a lot of the ball handling responsibilities as long as Love is on the bench.
Well, they had a lob there to Day'Ron Sharp after that little back screen.
They double. Brooks is open at the free throw line, and everything but the finish. Boy, in and out.
Boy, Day'Ron Sharpe, when that double came, and it was a very good double team, that was a heck of a pass. He had 6 assists in the game against Notre Dame. He's a good passing big man. Well, then he turns it over. It's a good idea, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know announcer jinxes went to passes.
Your jinx karma's very strong tonight. Virginia Tech led early. Carolina by 3 right now. A spot in the semifinals on the line. Radford with a drive, and Brooks got all of that.
Boy, the movement that Virginia Tech has on offense. They are cutting and moving. And you've got all kinds of defenders having to negotiate screens, and they're not able to see the ball. That is putting a lot of pressure on this North Carolina defense.
Hunter Couture back into the game for the Hokies, playing with a couple of fouls. Beatty at the point, not a big score. And has Kessler on him at the moment. The loose ball finds its way to Mutz down low, and it's a 1-point game.
Just that action along the baseline. You know, that's like the 3rd or 4th layup that Virginia Tech has against this Carolina defense, because they're moving the big guys around so they can't protect the rim. And then they've gotten several of those little on big cross screens and have had layups out of them.
Jay, the freshmen have scored 23 of the 25 points for Carolina tonight, and Mutz knocks down a 3, and he's got a dozen right now for the Hokies.
Just simple action, a little step-up screen, and then popping back to essentially the 3-point line. Day'Ron Sharpe is going with the ball to help off the screen, and then he can't recover that much distance.
Boy, and look at the pressure on Kessler, and look how unhappy Mike Young is with that foul call.
Well, take a look at Justin Mutz here, setting this little step-up screen. He sets the screen, and then he's going to pop out. When he pops back, Day'Ron Sharpe saves a couple of dribbles. Look how much room he's got to cover to get back out to that shot. That's just really good offense run by Mike Young, just to essentially isolate Justin Mutz for that shot, and then he can also, if Sharpe is a little bit quicker to get out there, a little shot fake, and then you attack that closeout.
Mutz with a couple of threes tonight, and almost half the points that the Hokies have, as Kessler is at the line now for Carolina. What a night the freshman had last night against Notre Dame. 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 blocks. The 8 blocks set a whole slew of records, a record for a Carolina freshman, a record in this tournament for a freshman for any school, and a record for any Carolina player, regardless of what year they are, in the ACC tournament. He was absolutely outstanding last night, as were Bacot and Sharpe.
You know, Kessler missed that second free throw, but Hunter Couture boxed him out on the first one and got right into his body. You wonder if he was thinking about that a little bit. And another easy basket along the baseline. The penetration, you help up, just a drop off to Tyrese Radford for an easy dunk. How many layups has Virginia Tech gotten in this first half?
Rabisa Beatty's now got 5 assists in the game, but there's Carolina beating Carolina. Sharpe on the glass, and the lead changes hands again.
You notice the difference when you have a close-in shot, how much easier it is for North Carolina to offensive rebound that. The longer shots are more problematic.
Beatty to Aluma, a little bit strong on the 3, rebound Kessler.
Same sort of action, just pick, then pop, and a big guy has to close out.
Black over the top, and too high for Kessler.
Mike Young and his staff were calling out those screens. They knew exactly what was coming, but it keeps coming at you. It's like the Packers power sweep. Now take a look at this box out here. Watch Hunter Couture. Well, that was he jumps right in front of Kessler, and you wonder if he was thinking about that on the second free throw.
Virginia Tech playing its first game in almost 2 weeks, coming out of its second COVID pause of the season and going toe-to-toe with Carolina right now. Now the Hokies are the 3 seed, 9-4 in the league. Carolina the 6 seed. Another good feed as Aline finds David Gasson, a freshman from the Netherlands, for an easy 2.
They are just cutting up North Carolina with this screening action and moving the big guys around. That's just a tough pass and a tough catch Harris trying to get the ball into Kessler, but you're having to fight for position and make that catch.
8 Carolina turnovers already.
But look at the movement for Virginia Tech on the offensive end.
Gasson surrounded, gets rid of it. Boy, good D by Harris.
Two hands on the handler there.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech has been moving the North Carolina big guys all over the floor. 2 men on the ball. That means somebody's open. It's Gasson.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right.
The Audi halftime report is coming up. Some ACC thrillers show you how Kansas had to hang on. North Carolina's big first half. What do you see?
Yeah, when you play against North Carolina, you got to keep them off the offensive glass. They lead the nation in offensive rebound percentage. Virginia Tech Seth's only giving up 2.
Well, raise your hand if you would think that Virginia Tech has 16 points in the paint to Carolina's 8. Thank you very much. By the way, Carolina, you better figure out how to guard that double back screen because they've scored 16 points on the same play.
Now, Carolina's only got 2 offensive rebounds, 2 second chance points in this game. And Virginia Tech with a 1-point lead late in the first half. The guys will update you on all the goings on around the country. The Virginia win over Syracuse earlier today. Bubble games in the Mountain West going on this evening.
Boy, after that timeout, Virginia Tech ran a back cut cutter and then a second cutter. And they had a great backdoor cut there to get a layup. That kick saved that layup.
Matsu's had a big first half for the Hokies. Jump hook won't go, and Love is back into the game now for Carolina.
There's that wing back screen that Carolina has run for the last 40 years.
And Harris kept looking inside, decided he didn't have an angle for the pass, so he put up a 3. Baycott and Brooks quiet tonight. They have combined for 2 points and 3 rebounds. Radford is fouled on the drive.
Just a little ball screen by Mutz, and Carolina really kind of switched it. And that allowed Radford to drive, and even though the shot was blocked, he's able to get to the free throw line. And these are the first free throws, I believe, for Virginia Tech.
You are correct. Tyrese Radford, the redshirt sophomore from Baton Rouge, suspended earlier this season, missed 4 games in recent weeks after being found guilty of driving under the influence, and also pleaded no contest to carrying a concealed weapon. And Virginia Tech suspended him for 4 games. He just returned a couple of weeks ago.
Well, that's a good job by Aline to get out on play tech there and really blow up that action, that handoff action. Good help by Aluma.
Baycott spinning into the paint, forces it up and gets the bounce.
That's just Baycott using his size and strength to overpower Keve Aluma. Aluma was in good position. Boy, Baycott has had some good games, especially of late.
First points of the night for their leading scorer on the season at 12 points per game.
There's that pick and pop, and now a drive. Nobody underneath because they're spread out. The spread floor is really causing a huge problem for North Carolina's big guys. They have to guard on the perimeter. They can't protect the rim that way.
Mutz, who averages just under 9, has 14. But Baycott right back at him the other way with a dunk.
Keve Aluma got caught on the baseline side. And Aluma's not happy. He thought he got elbowed. Mutz getting the throw back and throwing it down. And then Baycott on the other end. Well, I'll go two-handed.
Best spot to get all your news about the ACC is with the Nothing But Net crew. They're in tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern time on ACC Network to break down the day and look ahead to the semis. Kelsey, Luke, Carlos and Jordan. Ready to go tonight on ACC Network.
Still sticking with that high screen action, the pick and pop, and they switched it. Now Leaky Black on Mutz. Radford picked up his dribble, but now he's got Sharp on him. He's going to take him off the dribble.
And a foul is called on Sharp out on the perimeter.
You know, that's one thing. Mike Young's doing a really good job, I think, of running this over and over again until Carolina shows they can stop it. And it's what it's doing is bringing Carolina's big guys out on the floor, and that allows Virginia Tech to attack the paint without the resistance of having those big guys at the rim.
Aluma. And Carolina with a chance to take the lead here in the final minute of the first half.
Boy, this has been a heck of a game. Physical.
Leonard Hamilton and the Seminoles looking on. They will take on the winner tomorrow night in one of the semifinals here in Greensboro. Baycott. Aluma's got it. Shot clock is turned off. The Hokies can hold for the last shot of the half.
Boy, good resistance by Virginia Tech around the basket. Couldn't block the shot, but at least bothered it.
Ten seconds. Radford around Baycott. Radford is fouled.
It's a nice job by Aluma. First he set a little wide pin, and that ball screen allowed Radford to turn the corner, get the switch. Now he's got Baycott on him, and look, he was just lower. His shoulders were lower so he could turn the corner a little bit easier. And any time that Virginia Tech has had a mismatch where you got a big guy guarding when they're caught on a switch, they've done a good job of driving that mismatch.
Aluma and Couture sit down with 4.4 seconds left in the half. The foul was on Day'Ron Sharp, his second. And he makes them both. 3-point lead. Carolina with time to get a decent look. Love for three. And 20 minutes into the last quarterfinal in Greensboro, it is Virginia Tech with a 3-point lead over North Carolina, and the team doing a better job scoring near the bucket, points in the paint. That's Virginia Tech so far, Jay.
Well, they're doing a better job because their movement has been so good, and they've moved Carolina's big guys around. They've gotten some mismatches. They've done a good job of that little low cross screen, and then the high ball screen up top has been really good. It was turned down there, you help up, all of a sudden you give the little drop off. Then there's the ball screen, the little low cross, and the ball went to Gasson. Just an excellent job offensively with movement of players and ball movement by Virginia Tech.
Allison Williams is with Mike Young.
Thanks, guys. Coach Young, your team hadn't played in 12 days. What did you like about the way they came out here tonight?
Allison, they've done it, since we got started way back when. They're going to play, all right? We weren't great, but they're going to play hard. They're going to fight and compete, and they did that in the first 20. Got 20 more to go.
What have you done well to take away the size advantage that Carolina has?
There's nothing more I can say to you, Allison, other than they are tough people, all right, and it's important to them. And they're going to do what you ask them to do, and they're going to box, and they're going to, pursue that ball, and they did that quite well in the first half.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Allison, thank you.
The toughness is showing. The Hokies with a 3-point lead on the heels at halftime. They're in quarterfinal action in Greensboro. Let's head to the studio now for the halftime report, along with Seth Greenberg and LaFonso Ellis. Here's Reese Davis.
They don't do what you ask them.
Welcome back to ESPN's Champ Week, presented by SoFi and the 2021 New York Life ACC Tournament. We got a good one going on here, and a spot in the semifinal is on the line. Virginia Tech has been led by two players, Justin Mutz and Tyrese Radford, each of them with 14 points. The two of them have combined to score 80% of Virginia Tech's points, and the Hokies are giving the Heels all they can handle right now. Welcome back, Dan Schulman, Jay Billis. Pretty good effort by Virginia Tech, especially dealing with all that Carolina size.
They did a great job of being physical. All five guys went to the defensive glass. They were doubling when the ball went into the post. They did a good job of putting pressure on the ball so they couldn't see in. But what North Carolina needs to do is figure out a way to get stops on the defensive end, because Virginia Tech has done a great job of spreading the floor and moving the Carolina big guys around out on the perimeter. And if Carolina's going to switch, fine, but they got to be more active on the defensive end to get stops so they can get out a bit in transition, get some easier baskets.
Let's check in again with Allison Williams.
North Carolina has not matched Virginia Tech's physicality at all, according to head coach Roy Williams, and he's frustrated about it. He said, I'm sick of them dictating where we go. We have to determine where we go and what we are doing on the court. They cannot be getting the easy layups, and we have to reverse the points in the paint. Right now, Virginia Tech is winning inside. That has got to change in the second half.
They're not taller, but you can make a case that they have been tougher so far tonight. And Virginia Tech, the 3 seed, will take a 3-point lead over the 6 seed Carolina into the second half.
You know, that's a good point about the not taller but tougher in the first half, because oftentimes when you get a smaller team that is tough, they can use leverage. You know, playing lower can negate some of the height and strength of an opponent.
Carolina coming off that lopsided win over Notre Dame last night, dominated on the glass, second chance points, etc., etc. And you can see basically Virginia Tech in those areas. I mean, 2 offensive rebounds in the first half. They had, 15 in the first half last night, I think, against Notre Dame. It finished with 25.
Yeah, I mean, last night was a little bit of an outlier. You're not going to get 15 and a half and 25 that often. But to your point, North Carolina is a much better offensive rebounding team than they showed in that first half, and you give all the credit to Virginia Tech. And again, a little pin-in screen, and Virginia Tech getting exactly the shot they want on most of these trips. North Carolina's not impacted the game with its defense.
Naheem Aline, a 39% three-point shooter on the season, extends the lead to 6. And look at that rebound by Radford, one of the best rebounding guards in the nation.
Well, Virginia Tech has 3 guys, Aluma, Radford, and Mutz. All of them average over 6 rebounds a game. You know, Carolina's got that. Michigan has it. Louisville, not many other teams. It's unusual.
Mutz with a pretty good look. And back come the Heels.
The ball needed to get inside to Garrison Brooks. He was open, and Mutz doing a really good job on him.
This is one of these games where some of the best action might be if you don't watch the ball when Carolina's on offense and just watch the battle down low and how hard guys like Mutz and Aluma are working to prevent that ball from getting fed into the post.
Yeah, especially Mutz with his physicality. You know, he is meeting Garrison Brooks and fighting him for that position. It's been difficult for Garrison Brooks to hold the position.
Don't forget to check out our alternate angle of tonight's game, the New York Life Above the Rim Cam, streaming live on the ESPN app.
North Carolina trying to change things up with some full court pressure. How are you going to play lower than Wabisa Beatty?
Nope.
It's like trying to guard a fire hydrant.
Doesn't look to score very often, but boy, he sets up his teammates. See, so you had the pass jinx, I had the doesn't look to score jinx. Come on, Wabisa, work with us up here.
That is one strong guard.
Yep. North Andover Mass, 6'1", 195, but boy, he is solid. Aluma fouled by Leaky Black.
Got a little mismatch. Aluma's going to take Black one-on-one in the post, and he just reached around with that right arm.
Already into the semifinals, it'll be Virginia and Georgia Tech in the first semi tomorrow night, and Florida State against the winner of this one. Aline.
It looked like he got hit.
Yep. Caleb Love pushing it. And a good seal there by Brooks. Love can't finish, and it's Beatty up with a loose ball.
Well, Carolina's had a couple opportunities, but they can't grab the ball.
Radford, it rolls off the rim for him. Boy, a couple of missed opportunities on layups from Beatty and Radford.
You wonder if they're hearing footsteps a little bit, worried about a block shot instead of just finishing the play.
Mike Young trying to encourage them as Day'Ron Sharp comes into the game for Garrison Brooks.
You might be able to complain a little bit, hey, didn't finish this play, but you can't complain about the effort. It's incredible the level of effort that Virginia Tech is giving, especially with as physical as they're playing. They're accepting the physical challenge from a much bigger team.
They've got wins this year over Virginia, Villanova, Clemson, Duke. Joe Lunardi's got the Hokies as a 9 seed right now. Love's 3 is way short. And Sharp and Baycott, a couple of teammates, battling for the loose ball. Black for 3.
Leaky Black, not known as a shooter. That's just his 9th 3 on the season. He had one last night. Remember the referee, he drills a 3 and the referees blew it dead because they wanted to look at the shot clock. Yeah. And he's like, really?
Radford with a step back. Nicely done. He's got 16.
He is having some ball game, isn't he? The lefty from Baton Rouge. They call him Mr. Everything, and you can see why, because he defends, he rebounds, and he can put his head down and drive.
All of a sudden, it's the Leaky Black show. Those 2 buckets, his first 5 points of the night, and again, it's a 1-point game.
Well, that can loosen up things a little bit inside. A little double screen away and then spacing out to give a one-on-one opportunity for Radford. Boy, just that fake got Sharp in the air.
6 to shoot. Beatty lost it, got it back. And a shot clock violation.
One of the few times where Virginia Tech, the ball stuck a little bit. More dribble than pass. And a good defensive sequence for North Carolina. Leaky Black on the relocation pass from the corner. The defense not respecting him as a shooter. And he says, hey, you didn't respect me the first time. I'll come off the screen ready to fire. Knocks down 2 in a row.
Hemsel and Couture back into the game for the Hokies as Tar Heel fans make their presence felt now.
Good switch by Virginia Tech on the screening action. Good pass.
Sharp to Baycott, too strong. And then a turnover, and Baycott is fouled. Just a giveaway by Hemsel right under the basket.
Boy, Mutza done such a good job to force Baycott to finish over the top. He's physical with his chest, and then just not a very smart play by Hemsel. And when the opposing big guy is lying in wait, taking it away from you, you know it's a bad pass.
These 2 teams were supposed to play in the middle of February, but that was during the first of 2 COVID pauses for Virginia Tech, so they did not meet during the season.
Yeah, we almost had two games tonight where the teams did not meet during the regular season.
Yeah. And as it turns out, Florida State and Duke never did meet because a positive test in the Blue Devils program, and they have announced that's the end of their season. Florida State advancing on to the semifinals. So, in effect, as Sean McDonough said this afternoon, Florida State really got a triple bye, if you want to look at it that way. Couture is fouled on a 3 and needs some help getting up. Appears to be okay. That's one guy you got to close out on in a hurry. 45% three-point shooter.
Well, look how much he had to do. He came off multiple screen, the same screen, but he came off it as a down screen, back screen. Watch Hunter Couture here when he's in the corner right now, so he's going to get a screen from Hemsel, and then he winds up, refusing it. Then he comes off it again. So he refuses it, then comes off it again. And Kerwin Walton has to go over the top, winds up fouling him. That's just great movement without the ball by Hunter Couture. And he's such a good shooter. Nobody's going to let him catch and shoot. If he gets a catch and shoot, it's going to be because he runs half a mile on cuts before he gets it.
Virginia Tech fans will fondly remember a 3 that he hit to force overtime against Miami. Big comeback by the Hokies. They went on to win that game in overtime. Walton, no. Gets it back.
Good job by Walton to turn down that screen and take it baseline.
Sharp, and that'll be an offensive foul. Number 3 on Day'Ron Sharp. Hokies by 2. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right. What a game earlier today between the #1 seed Virginia and Syracuse. It went right down to the wire before Reese Beekman knocked down a buzzer-beating three to win it for the Hoos. 72-69 as Virginia advances into the semifinal to take on the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. 6:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. Jay and I will have that game for you, and the winner of this one against Florida State. One little note about Syracuse. Joe Lunardi still has them right on the bubble. Last team in right now, in spite of the loss today, a loss that you wouldn't figure would hurt them. A win would have really helped them, but the loss may not hurt them. But Syracuse has a win over North Carolina this year. And if you look at the NCAA's net as one of the metrics that you follow, Carolina, their net is 32. If they win and get into the top 30, that Syracuse quad 2 win becomes a quad 1 win. So if you're a fan of Syracuse, you're rooting for North Carolina tonight.
Syracuse is getting in anyway. I mean, that is a interesting little math thing, but they're getting in anyway.
An interesting little math thing.
It is an interesting little math thing. That's math. And I was told there would be no math. Hunter Couture and Justin Mutz had a really good sequence there. He's going to go set like a little pin down, but Couture just makes a little basket cut and clears it out, and all of a sudden you had a one-on-one isolation opportunity for Justin Mutz. They're doing, Mike Young's doing a really good job of isolating the matchup he wants, getting great movement, and they're really attacking the North Carolina big guys, putting them in situations where they have to switch, where they have to guard out on the floor. Good job by Aluma on Kessler.
Leaky Black. Not this time. Ball kept alive, and it belongs to Beatty.
And the guards are down rebounding. Rebounding has been a 5-man endeavor for Virginia Tech. Boy, that was a good shot, man. You're not going to get more open than that. Hunter Couture, that's a bullet dodge there for North Carolina.
And overall, the rebounding numbers just about dead even. Carolina +1 on the glass, and that's a win for just about for any team in the country. If you're even with Carolina on the glass, you guys are doing a good job.
Justin Mutz did a great job down low to fight for position, get around in front, knock that ball away in that high-low. I mean, he is working his tail off.
Mutz guarding Brooks, Aluma guarding Kessler. Kessler can't handle that pass down around his knees, and we got a tie-up, and the possession arrow will keep it with Carolina.
Virginia Tech has their hand on their hips right now. There's a long way to go in this game, and they've expended a lot of energy with how physical they've had to be in this.
And yes, they were able to practice for the last week anyway, during their most recent COVID pause, but there's still nothing like game action, and this is their first game in 12 days.
And those big bodies they're banging against, that's kind of like a body blows in a prize fight. It takes a toll. There's that cross screen. Hunter Couture setting a cross screen for Justin Mutz down low. It's a little on big cross screen. If you wind up switching, then you've got a mismatch, and they're attacking that over and over again. How many layups did they get off that in the first half? At least 2 or 3.
Virginia Tech still leading in the points in the paint department, and leading where it matters the most on the scoreboard by 1, although Mutz misses the first. And you can see that Roy Williams a little perplexed by the way tonight is going. Boy, missed them both.
A nice job by Kessler, being physical right back. Good pass.
Brooks. Kessler, and one.
Dan, just getting the ball inside gives you a shorter shot and an easier opportunity for the other big guy for Carolina to go after it. He drew 2 defenders, and then nobody blocked out Walker Kessler. The longer shots, Carolina has a harder time rebounding. But the shots inside, they can go after with greater ease.
Let's bring in Allison Williams.
Well, guys, and Kessler has quite the basketball roots, but they're all in Georgia. He was the Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. His dad, his brother, his uncle all played for the Bulldogs. In fact, his uncle Alec is the third leading scorer in Georgia history, but he's blazing his own path in the ACC, playing for Carolina, and already has his name etched in the record books with 8 blocks yesterday, the most by a freshman in the ACC tournament.
That's a great point, Allison. Dr. Alec Kessler was a great player, not only at Georgia, but in the NBA.
Walker also did a terrific job in his post-game interview last night. As Davis gets inside, Kessler keeps it alive. And this looks more like Carolina, but they can't convert. Radford around Harris. Radford strong to the rim.
And took the contact, finished the play with the left hand. What a big-time play by Tyrese Radford.
This has been a good one from the outset, and there's a lot on the line. The winner goes into the semis tomorrow against Florida State. Brooks off the glass, 2-point lead, Carolina.
Now Carolina's starting to get some side ball screen action. And start to put a little more pressure on this Virginia Tech defense. Well, you can't sell out there.
Aluma won't go down.
But he's really struggled. Went 1 of 8 in the first half.
And he's their best overall player, second team all-conference during the season. Turnover by Davis, and Radford's out ahead of the pack.
I don't know where R.J. Davis was going, but that sort of move and attempt at a pass is not going to work.
Caleb Love looking on from the bench right now for the Heels as Davis is fouled by Beatty.
Now, Tyrese Radford, the second basket he got was easier than the first. The first one, man, this is a tough play. Gets by Harris, goes right at Brooks, and finishes through that contact. And then off the turnover, he's just ahead of the crowd here. Wouldn't count on the playground, but it does in the ACC tournament.
Lefty jamming it home with a right as Beatty, Mutz, and Radford have all gone to the bench, and this might just get them through the under 12 timeout. Get a little bit of rest through the timeout for some of your key guys. Davis for the Heels.
Boy, nice aggressive shot by R.J. Davis coming off that Garrison Brooks ball screen. Came off it ready to shoot, pulled up. He's a good shooter. When he takes the right shots, he can drill it.
And 14 last night against the Irish. Bamisile back into the game. And a foul will be called on Kerwin Walton. Back and forth they go here in the final quarterfinal of the night in Greensboro. R.J. Davis elevates for the jumper, and the Heels have a 2-point lead. If you want to watch a guy who plays about as hard as anybody in the country, watch Jose Alvarado of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Suffered a knee injury in the second half, banging knees with Isaiah Wong. Came back, made a huge play to save the ball late in the game. And Georgia Tech held off a really stubborn group of Hurricanes. Miami gave it all they had, but Georgia Tech survives, and the number 4 seed goes on to the semifinal against Virginia tomorrow. They've also got the ACC Player of the Year, by the way, and Moses Wright, who did not have his best game today. But this is a really interesting team in Georgia Tech. They're going to the tournament. But for the Yellow Jackets, what an opportunity against the number 1 seed Virginia tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of changing defenses. Josh Pastner will give you some different looks, but they're going against a team that is really difficult to play against in Virginia. Controls the tempo. It's like going to the dentist's office for 2 hours. No Wi-Fi, no magazines, no nothing.
Brooks a little strong. And down with the rebound for the Hokies, Naheem Aline.
When Virginia Tech, just all 5 guys are rebounding.
Aluma looking to get going. Boy, he's got Sharp and Brooks on him, and he scores anyway.
Well, he kept with it. They had that little handoff action. He kept it, and then had one-on-one in the post with Day'Ron Sharp. Oh.
Aluma thought he had it clean, but it'll be Brooks to the line, and Anthony Harris is injured for North Carolina.
I don't know exactly what happened to Harris, but that's a pretty darn good block there. I guess there was some contact with the body, but
looked like he was holding his right wrist, but got helped up and evidently okay to stay in the game. And Brooks, the senior, at the line for the Tar Heels.
Aggressive play. That's an awful lot of ball there. It's a tough one.
And you can see the reaction from Aluma. Harris to the bench, Black back in for the Heels. Aluma sits for the Hokies. That's his third foul. Got a couple of guys on each team with 3 right now.
I'd like to see Mutz get the ball and see let him go to work a little bit.
Mutz and Radford have been the bulk of the offense tonight for Virginia Tech. Got a mismatch here.
Well defended by Garrison Brooks to force that jumper. That was not an easy shot.
Boy, what a battle down low. Gassan giving up a lot of weight to Sharp. And now Mutz switches on to him. Davis for 3. Yes!
Well, Leaky Black passed up a couple of open shot opportunities. And the only way you're going to loosen it up to get that ball inside is to knock down a couple perimeter shots. R.J. Davis stepped in to do it.
Carolina,
what a steal.
Yeah, with a 4-point lead and a steal. Davis has a big guy with him. Never mind.
What a steal by R.J. Davis, reaching behind with that left hand on just a hand change by Hunter Couture. When he changes hands, he puts it out with that left hand outside of his body. And that was just a great read of the ball handler by R.J. Davis. And not only does he draw the contact, Hunter Couture brought that arm down. He finished the play. Man, that's a big-time play by R.J. Davis.
High score in the game right now for the Heels with a dozen. .7-0 run Carolina, their largest lead of the night.
And R.J. Davis is following up an excellent game he had against Notre Dame with those 14 points. Went 5 of 9 from the field. He had 3 steals in that one, but none was as good as that steal. That was a big-time steal he just made on Couture.
Let's see what the response is like from the Hokies.
Boy, what a difference in Davis and Love with their defensive improvement from the start of the year.
Mutz going to work on Sharp. Holy cow!
Well, that's why I had mentioned let him go to work. I mean, Mutz, he is terrific. What a player.
He's got a noisy 17 tonight. Beatty swatted by Baycott. And here comes Love. Sharp can't finish it. Virginia Tech ball.
Well, he was trying to avoid a charge and just didn't finish the play. Good feet by Day'Ron Sharp, and needs to finish that. I'd go back to Mutz again.
They do, but he traveled.
Boy, a little crossover. That is a big time finish by Justin Mutz. Started his career off at High Point, transferred to Delaware, and now Virginia Tech. Now, what is in the water in the Big South? They've produced some players.
Averaging 9, he's got 17 tonight, and there's an easy tip in for Sharp.
North Carolina, you wonder if that size is just wearing down Virginia Tech a little bit as we go toward the end of this ball game.
Carolina had 2 offensive rebounds, Jay, in the first half. They've got 7 already in the second half. Beatty, line drive 3, no good.
Good feed.
Davis again. And another offensive rebound. Baycott.
Boy, that was a really nice pass out of the double team. And then North Carolina off the miss by Davis, going to the glass, starting to exert their dominance on the glass. North Carolina has staked themselves out to a nice lead against a very tough and physical Virginia Tech team.
Hey, it is almost upon us. Coming up on Selection Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time here on ESPN Bracketology with Reese Davis, LaFonso Ellis, Seth Greenberg, Dickie V, and the guy sitting 15 feet to my right, Jay Billis. Sports Center gets it started at 5:15 as Reese and the guys reveal the NCAA men's field of 68 as the teams are announced. I think there were many times during the season, Jay, where many people didn't think we'd get this far. Wouldn't get to Selection Sunday, and there have been, pauses and issues and concerns, and there still are. But Selection Sunday is just, 72 hours away?
Right around the corner.
Aline. Boy, did they need that.
Just a little handoff, shoot behind. And North Carolina got picked off. Virginia Tech is really good after timeouts.
Well, again, being coached by the ACC Coach of the Year this year, Mike Young. Big to big, and we have really seen the bigs of Carolina assert themselves here in the second half.
Just a little side ball screen. They switched up the angle of it, threw out of it, and that allowed Armando Baycott to just roll right to the basket.
Aline again. Rebound Sharp.
That was an open shot, but I still think that Virginia Tech needs to drive these Carolina big guys. And Justin Mutz is going to be a big part of that if they can get him the ball.
They surround Sharp. Love is open for three. Baycott on the weak side.
That is the North Carolina we have come to know this season. Did a good job of attacking the double team, kicking it back out on the ball side, got a wide open shot, Love missed it, and then it was big guys going to work.
It's been a whole different story here in the second half for Sharp and Baycott. Mutz trying to drive Sharp, and he will.
They got to keep going to that. That has been near unstoppable. And keep allowing Justin Mutz to drive the ball.
Radford and Mutz have combined for 39. Keve Aluma just 4 points tonight for the Hokies. They're going to count that and a foul.
A really nice job by Armando Baycott. He's had a terrific second half. 8 rebounds. Got the good angle inside after the ball screen action on the perimeter. And then the offensive rebound stick back. Maybe it was the change in shoes. Over the course of a 40-minute basketball game, North Carolina's big guys are going to wear you down. And North Carolina in the second half, the quality of shot that the Tar Heels have taken initially has been better in the second half, and it has allowed the North Carolina big guys to go to work on the offensive glass, especially Armando Baycott. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 4 of them on the offensive end. Carolina going to work on the backboards and cleaning the glass. And Dan, let me show you a little math thing. If the number in the middle is higher, then the number at the bottom goes higher as well. I've noticed that. I don't think that's a basketball thing. I think that's a math thing.
There's a correlation between these numbers. These numbers are positively correlated.
Is that what they call it?
Mutz again.
Isolation on the left side of the floor against Armando Baycott. And Justin Mutz, anytime he gets an opportunity to drive a North Carolina big guy, he's got to do it. And here he just spins away, a little over pursuit, which is hard not to do when you're trying to guard an explosive driver like Justin Mutz.
but not a good free throw shooter, and he is struggling tonight. 55% on the season and just 1 for 5 in this game. He's done everything else right, though, tonight. He and Radford are the reason why Virginia Tech still got a fighting chance right now. Sharp. Blocked. Aluma.
That spin that Day'Ron Sharp makes in the lane, it shows his mobility. It's just not a good move.
Hey.
That is a good move.
That's an excellent move.
Wow.
And in transition, the reverse no, the follow yes. Baycott yet again.
If I were Caleb Love, I would call that a pass.
I'll check to see if they give him an assist on that. Boy, what a block by Day'Ron Sharp to get all that started, too.
That was a big-time block, and there was no doubt. Good screen by Aluma.
And a big three-pointer there for Naheem Aline.
They've run that action several times. He got a shot out of it a little bit earlier. 2 of them actually. Made one, missed the other.
The last 10 points for the Tar Heels have been scored by Armando Baycott after he was not really noticeable that often in the first half. He's been huge here in the second half. Deep one. Davis. Yes.
Really well done to handle that double team. And if Virginia Tech is going to let the ball come out of that double team on the ball side, they're taking a gamble there, and R.J. Davis makes them pay.
Carolina back out to a 10-point lead. They were down 3 at halftime.
Better job by Caleb Love of chasing Naheem Aline off that little handoff action.
Beatty baseline.
Looked like a foul.
Mutz. Boy, he is doing everything right now for Virginia Tech. He's got 24. Boy, and he looks tired too, and you can't blame him. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life, helping people act on their love for 175 years.
Pac-12 tournament, UCLA got bounced by the Beeve earlier. SC with Ethan Anderson against Utah.
Ooh, nice little spin there. 2 of his 7 points in the game.
48-41, now 51-41. SC's pushed it into double figures. The con rolling.
Second weekend team, no doubt. Huge comeback for Texas. Texas, you got to beat Texas Tech eventually if you're going to be in the second weekend.
Big 12 is something else. Oklahoma State with a big win earlier today against West Virginia to advance into the semis of that tournament. And North Carolina trying to advance into the semis here in Greensboro with a 7-point lead late on the Hokies.
Virginia Tech has not been subbing much. And these guys have gone a long time banging bodies with North Carolina. You wonder how much gas there is left in the tank for this final 3 minutes.
3 Virginia Tech players have played 33 of a possible 37 minutes. And in fact, the 4 guys who have played the most in this game are all Hokies.
And they're banging bodies with the bigger Tar Heels.
Leaky Black for 3. Boy, this feels like a huge trip, doesn't it, for Virginia Tech?
It is a huge trip. If they can get a score here, whether it's a 2 or 3, that puts a lot more game pressure on North Carolina.
Beatty turns the corner. Can't get all the way to the rim. Radford got a switch.
A lot of dribbling, not a lot of movement, not a lot of ball movement.
Aluma's got to force it up. Rebound Baycott.
Not a good possession at all. Justin Mutz never touched it. The ball never really moved from side to side. It was just Beatty dribbling. And then Radford dribbling.
And Roy Williams calls a timeout with 2:20 to go. 7-point lead Carolina, and the biggest difference is how the bigs have played in the second half for the Heels, and nobody's played better than Armando Baycott.
Well, Armando Baycott has been very good on the glass, very active, and when North Carolina's had a double team, though, they pitched it out, and they've gotten some good shots out of it. Caleb Love missed that one, but then the second offensive rebound, Armando Baycott takes advantage of it, and then just a strong move going right into Keve Aluma. And then the two-handed offensive rebound and finish. And then this drive where he gets right past Justin Mutz, got a little bit of contact, finished the play, and then I think that was a pass. Give him credit.
Well, the official box score disagrees with you.
You know what else has been really good is how Carolina's handled double teams that have come their way in the post. They've passed out, and R.J. Davis has taken advantage of it. And Davis has had an excellent game. 16 points. He's 3 of 6 from 3. 4 rebounds, 5 of 9 overall from the field. That's a foul there. They got it.
Both teams over the limit.
Yeah, I think this Virginia Tech team has been worn down through the course of this game by the big bodies of North Carolina. And it has been a physical, tough game from the opening tip. And I really do believe that those are very much like, all the body banging has been very much like body blows in a prize fight. It's going to take its toll over the course of the 40 minutes. And North Carolina has more bodies to throw at Virginia Tech than Virginia Tech has to throw at North Carolina.
And you add in a little bit extra with the fact they haven't played in 12 days. And yeah, Carolina's playing their second game in as many nights, but they weren't pushed last night, so guys got some rest. And they're deeper. Couture, good three-point shooter into the game for the Hokies. Aleen's hit a couple tonight, and he hits another one.
There's that same action. They've been running it all game long. And Curran Walton just late getting out to it. Just trailing Naheem Aleen, and way late.
The fourth three of the night actually for Aleen in 6 attempts, and it's down to 5.
When Aleen's hanging out in the lane, he's not going to stay there. He's going to come off a screen.
Black thinking about it. Now he takes it, and he hits it.
Well, he has been a big factor in this game. Remember, he made 4 threes. He was 4 of 4 against Miami at 16 points in a win down at Coral Gables.
Got 10 on the season. 2 of them are tonight. Now he comes up with a loose ball, finds Davis.
What a play by Armando Bacot. He didn't steal it, but he knocked it away. He has had quite the second half. Where we talked about North Carolina impacting the game on the defensive end. And you remember Allison Williams talking about what Roy Williams, no relation, told her at halftime, that North Carolina needed to start dictating the action, being tougher, being more physical. And they have dictated the action in this second half. And the 3 goggles for R.J. Davis. The view is very nice from those.
Carolina not a good three-point shooting team, but they've done a good job tonight. A very respectable 8 of 21, 38%. Davis has 4 of them. Black's got 2 of them. All of Leaky Black's 8 points coming in the second half. And Carolina seemingly on its way to the semifinals.
Did you do that percentage math in your head? You did, didn't you?
I did.
You are a marvel. That's unbelievable.
Pressure and a foul. And you gotta give it a shot here if you're Virginia Tech, but the deficit's a big one right now with less than a minute to go.
Yeah, and you have to believe that North Carolina is going to hang on in this game, but it was a heck of an effort by Virginia Tech. I mean, North Carolina is so much bigger. They've got 4 big guys they can throw at you, and I'm sure that coming off pause, even though it was for contact tracing, they could still practice with masks on and all that. There's still an edge that physically and conditioning wise that you don't have. But from my seat, North Carolina wore down Virginia Tech in the second half.
Yeah. And what an interesting game, assuming they advance, it figures to be tomorrow night between North Carolina and Florida State, who split a couple of meetings during the regular season.
I have been impressed with the maturing of the North Carolina guards. Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, they are getting better.
Time now for tonight's Player of the Game, brought to you by Kubota. And speaking of R.J. Davis, he's the choice tonight. He did so many different things well for North Carolina.
Really had a terrific game. 6 of 10 from the field, and Dan, that's 60% by my math.
Jay, by anybody's math. Now you're just showing off.
You're not the only one that can do percentages in his head.
And again, maybe a couple of thousand fans here in Greensboro, and the vast majority of them are Carolina fans, and you can hear them from time to time. It's a different kind of a vibe. This is a big building. It is. I don't know, 19,000 seats, and everybody is socially distanced and so forth. But just different and fun, as long as everybody is distancing, to have some fans in the building and get a little bit of energy, and I'm sure the Carolina players are really enjoying it. Remember, their last 2 home games saw some fans in the building of the Dean Dome. Wow, Baycott again.
You do notice the difference with people in the building. Yeah. It's a reminder of what we've been missing.
And should be a great semifinal Friday. Virginia and Georgia Tech, 1 versus 4, and then number 2 seed Florida State against the 6th seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels, who, and we talked about it last night, they haven't been the most consistent team this season. But
that's been going around.
That's been going around. That's true, yeah. But they appear to be trending in the right direction. I don't know if this is a team that anybody wants to play right now.
I think that's right. They are trending in the right direction, and one of the things that I like best about the way the Tar Heels played tonight is the response they had in the second half. That North Carolina did not play the way they wanted to in the first half, and they responded positively in the second half with a much stronger 20 minutes.
Florida State is deep and big and athletic and talented, and it should be a terrific game between the Seminoles and the Tar Heels. Mont Snow and Aluma still working hard. He'll get a bucket and a foul.
It's been a tough game for Keve Aluma, but he has continued to work. What a story he is. At the drive, and anytime you have a shot blocker come over, oftentimes it can open up the offensive glass, and then unless there's a rotation, and somebody, in that case probably would have been Leaky Black, coming over to pick up Aluma to box him out.
Joe Lunardi's got the Hokies as a 9 seed coming into this game. We'll wait and see. They'll wait and see and see who they're playing and what their seed is on Sunday.
Might want to fall down to a 10. It's no fun being the 8-9. You're playing a team that's just as good as you, and then if you win, you have to play the 1 seed.
Yep. That's going to do it. Carolina wins again. R.J. Davis and Armando Baycott leading the way. Career win number 903 for the Hall of Famer Roy Williams as he moves past Bob Knight into 4th on the all-time men's Division I win list. So here's what we're looking at tomorrow night of the semifinals. The top seed Virginia against the 4th seed Georgia Tech, and then Florida State will play for the first time in the tournament. They advanced after Duke had a positive test within their program, so it'll be Florida State and North Carolina in what should be a terrific game tomorrow night from Greensboro. Really looking forward to bringing it to you. Until then, for Jay Billis, Allison Williams, and our crew, I'm Dan Schulman. Thanks for watching. Sports Center is next.
All right, Dan, thank you, and take the rest of the evening off. Been a tremendous day of college basketball and into the night as well. Welcome to Sports Center as we go around the hardwood.